Welcome, everybody. The NFL season is over, which means it's time to look forward to the 2023 NFL Draft. I'm Joe with the Game House, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Denver Broncos and the 2023 NFL Draft. The Denver Broncos are up in our 2023 NFL MockDraft series. We're going to get to the Broncos, their team needs, and what they might do in this draft in a second. But a reminder, we're going to be using the NFL MockDraft database simulator. I like it because it kind of stacks the internet's big board up against each other and aggregates the players in. There will be players who drop that maybe aren't the most realistic, but for the most part, I think we'll do a pretty good job of keeping this mock draft what actually could happen here. So we'll also be declining all trades that come through. A lot of the simulators don't really have the best trade values going in, so we'll keep it real to what the picks that the Broncos currently have. So let's get it started here. The Broncos, they need an edge rusher. They obviously traded Bradley Chubb to the Dolphins this past year. They need some line help too. I would say interior more so because they got Mike McGlinchey in free agency, so the tackle spot maybe not as big of an issue. They need a corner outside of PS2. PS2 is one of the best corners in the league, but outside of him, it's a little bit weak. And maybe some linebackers as well. So we'll get to it here. We'll see what they can do. With starting off with pick number 67. They also 67 and 68. Now they've traded a lot of picks in the last couple of years. They obviously got Sean Payton as head coach, and that's pretty valuable. So I'd say you're probably fine. You got Russell Wilson. Whether that turns out being a good or bad thing, we'll see. The Sean Payton hiring should bring out the best in him. So there's definitely some potential here. And the Broncos made some under-the-radar signings, I believe, in free agency that I kind of like. So there is some potential here for this team to really improve. So we have back-to-back picks here at 67 and 68. Just taking a look down here, I think there's some potential to take one of these offensive linemen here. Also some edge rushers. Let's go with Tyreek Stevenson, the corner out of Miami. A guy who's kind of risen up draft boards here. He's an athletic guy. I think he could be a good number 2 corner. Maybe not right away in his NFL career, but I think he has the tools to be a good number 2 corner. So we'll take him. And then we're going to take, I know he's listed as a defensive lineman, but he might be more of an edge rusher. Let's take Tuli Tuipulotu out of USC. He had a lot of sacks for USC last year. He could play inside. He could play outside. Might be good for that 3-4 defense. Maybe not a true edge, but can help generate pressure. You have Baron Browning. You have Randy Gregory. Maybe those guys can create pressure. From the outside, maybe Tuli plays defensive end in that 3-4 scheme. I don't know exactly where he'll line up in the Broncos scheme or how they would see it, but I think he's a solid pick there, pick number 68. So next pick up, we have pick number 108 here. Let's see what we can do. Let's go Blake Freeland, the offensive tackle out of BYU. He's a guy who was kind of highly rated before the season, then kind of fell because he had a bad Senior Bowl. And now he's kind of getting some steam back. I think he's a good guy who can develop as an offensive tackle, but also can help you shuffle the line around. I think he might be able to move inside as well. So I think it's a solid pick there. You can definitely maybe get an interior guy later on, as we're seeing here. This is probably going to be the pick here. Let's go Jarrett Patterson, the interior lineman out of Notre Dame. He played center mostly at Notre Dame. I do think he has some guard versatility. Maybe lacks that athleticism, but I do think that he has lots of experience. He has a lot of experience run blocking too. For the Notre Dame, I think really good run blocking offensive line the last several years. And I think he'd be a solid depth piece here. I don't know if he'll ever be a starter, but you're at pick 139. Getting someone who can provide some depth, get someone who might develop into a starter, and see where you can go from there. So the last pick for the Broncos is pick number 195. There's definitely some options here for them to take where I think could still help their team. Let's get more of a traditional edge in Yaya Diaby out of Louisville. The other guys, Tyler Lacey was on the board as well. He can probably get after the passer a little bit too. But more of an edge rusher that fits the mold of what they're looking for in that 3-4 defense. Again, providing depth, maybe he turns into something. You just never know with some of these late round picks. But I do like that pick for the Broncos. So, recapping the draft for the Broncos. We know they did most of the work getting Sean Payton. We know they have a solid roster. Free agency helped out offensive line. They have Russell Wilson, who they need to get the best out of. They have Javonte Williams coming back from injury. They have 3 wide receivers who have been rumored to be in the trade market, but they've still kept them. So get some more defense here. That's kind of what we did with the first several picks. So we'll start it off. Tyreek Stevenson out of Miami. Guy who's been rising up draft boards. You get him to play across from PS2, and you really help that secondary out. Tuli Tuipulotu out of USC was one of the best pass rushers in college football this past year. I don't know how exactly he'll fit into that defense, but he provides good value at the end of the second round there, or excuse me, the third round, beginning of the third round there. So I think that's a really good pick for them. Blake Freeland, an offensive tackle out of BYU. I think you might be able to move him inside, might be able to shuffle the line a little bit, but I do like some of the moves they made in free agency to bolster that line. Get Jarrett Patterson as an interior offensive lineman, a guy who, again, maybe never starts in the NFL, but provides good depth and has a good history of run blocking. And then Yaya Diaby, who's more of the 3-4 edge rusher, I think that the Broncos could be looking for over Tuli Tuipulotu, but obviously just couldn't pass up the value with Tuipulotu. I like this mock draft for the Broncos. I think it provides some good help there. They don't have the most picks in the draft, so they have to hit on some here. But I do think they got a decent haul here with the picks they have. Let me know what you think of this mock draft in the comments below. We're going to keep on going through the 2023 NFL mock drafts until we complete all the teams, so stay tuned for more. For now, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.